Leave your home, all modern vehicles are connected to the internet, so your automobile is being tracked all the time. When you're going under a string of smart LED poles and smart LED lights on the highway and in the streets of your towns and cities, those form a wireless network and are tracking your vehicle. They are tracking all the devices on you, from smartphones to smartwatches when you're walking on the streets. So data is being collected 24/7 continuously on every human being whenever you are within these wireless networks.
And it's obviously not good for health also because of all the electromagnetic radiation.
In the long term, the plan is to pretty much lock up humanity in smart cities, which is kind of a superset of a 15-minute city.
They've sold all the state and local governments and countries that smart cities are about sustainability and the good of the city. But in reality, the language from the UN and WEF and their white papers is all inverted. So, their monitoring is really about limiting mobility and no car ownership. Right? Surveillance, control via LED grid is why the smart lighting is there. Water management is about water rationing, noise pollution is about speed surveillance, traffic monitoring is about limiting mobility, and then, of course, energy conservation is all about rationing heat, electricity, and gasoline.
And in Oxford, these barriers were installed by the council under its so-called 15-minute city plan. They were removed following protests. But look at what's replacing them in these quiet residential streets. As the tech companies are proud to tell us, the possibilities are endless.
We've developed the camera into a sensor. The camera does not only capture video, it can now start to count, measure, and detect. With deep learning capability, the camera is able to generate accurate and trustworthy data and send notifications in order to take action, all directly from the camera. And since our cameras have open technology, well, we can work with different analytic partners from all over the world and together do just about anything we want.
Note that they can do just about anything they want.
Today is going to talk to us about not just the tracking and tracing, but the weapons that are being deployed in these smart cities.
The capacitance of the equipment, I was very concerned about the look of it. It didn't look anything like a license plate recognition camera. Now, I know this to be what's called fusion technology. So it's a mix of LiDAR with laser phased array element, as well as a radar phased array element. Both of those elements together are extremely dangerous to all biological life. Now, Transport for London say these are LEDs. They most certainly are not. And not only are they not LEDs, these are category 4 lasers, and there's 24 in the head. That's not for, visualization in a built-up urban environment. The two cameras in the equipment, one's an infrared camera, one's a vision system. That's infrared on the right. You've got a vision system camera on the left. The infrared camera doesn't require artificial light. They're actually lasers, extremely potentially lethal, and they are interconnected with the contamination that was injected using the bioweapon.
These weapon systems are being deployed across smart cities all over the world.
These are bioinformatic technologies. They're very, very sophisticated. So it's an extremely dangerous piece of hardware. It has massive capacitance internally, and it is connected to the Azure platform. This is the Microsoft Lockheed Martin 5G military AI operating platforms. These are military battlefield weapon systems. That's what your C40 city is. Someone is planning a large extermination.
Fusion document. This is a UNEX traffic about this fusion technology. It says fusion contributes directly to the realization of a city's aspirations, including the achievement of net zero targets, and embrace the latest technologies, data sources, and the emerging interconnectivity of people, infrastructure, equipment, and vehicles. And this is a living laboratory. The UN brags about it, and we're going to extend this to the whole world. And now you have this fusion document using that same language of living laboratory for mass surveillance.
These are battlefield-derived weapon systems masquerading as some transport network control mechanism. It's going to go catastrophic. The infrared element causes cataracts. So we've got lots of people losing control of vehicles at these junctions, at the what I call a kill box. As every day goes on, as every week passes, these weapons are being refined to get better because the machine learning, it's an AI system, it's machine learning, so it's getting more and more adept. These are serious, lethal weapon systems that they just haven't triggered yet. But that's the triggering of this weapon system is the flick of a switch. The fact that the hardware's in place and it's going to be run by a AI 5G military program called Azure. And anybody listening to this, it's extremely important that you start to get very active, because these 15-minute cities are basically just advanced extermination camps.
People's lives in Oxford, Canterbury and Cambridge have been significantly affected by these 15-minute cities. A lot of the time, the traffic is pushed out onto the ring roads, which are then very congested and cause pollution because they're congested, and people cannot move freely. And trying to get what they're saying is you must use public transport or walk or cycle. Well, that's all very well, but if you've got 4 children, it's pouring with rain, you're trying to get them to school in a hurry because you've got to get to work. None of this works. If you've got elderly parents the other side of the city, none of this works, and it's made people's lives hell. And the taxation as well. If they do go into the wrong zone, they get the number plate recognition gives them a fine, and this is a taxation, and it's creating a prison for these people. It's about creating a city where everything that you have in that city is within 15 minutes of your location. So you have everything there, and they're building infrastructures to fulfill that, so that you don't need to leave. It's like an open prison. Yeah, it's an open prison. So the whole thing is dystopian. A lot of people think it's saving the planet. It is not saving the planet. It is actually imprisoning you. And this is what the aim is.
These so-called smart cities and 15-minute cities of ours, they are being sold to us as being green and healthy. And at the same time, people should live in their own neighborhoods and be happy being in them, where everything is in their own surroundings and you don't need to go out. And if you need a car, because they're made car-free zones, and if you need to go out, you better share a car with somebody else. And they made hubs outside cities where you can share your car and share bicycles. Yeah.
This is really in the planning here.
It is not only really in the planning, but it's already being implied. Yeah.
Here in Amsterdam or in small towns outside?
In small towns, in municipalities all over Holland. And by 2025, so in about 3 months' time, the city of Amsterdam is going to introduce zero carbon emission zones. And diesel trucks and vans are not allowed to enter our cities. And they are introducing healthy and green cities, and at the same time they're making hubs alongside on the borders of cities, and
that's where your shared car will be.
Exactly. This was last year in 2023. There was a pilot Weesperknip, so it's one of the busiest streets in Amsterdam, and they blocked it on both sides. So there was no traffic going in and out of Amsterdam. And they blocked it for 6 weeks. And so a lot of people got really annoyed, but also really alarmed, because the ambulances were not able to pass through. And a lot of accidents happened. And so the municipality of Amsterdam said, okay, we did this research into this pilot to make Amsterdam more green and healthy. And but yeah, maybe it's not working out that good. And you know what we'll do? We introduced intelligent entrance.
What does that consist
And
of?
by intelligence entrance, they mean that they put on, they put in streets driver recognition cameras,
Oh no.
license plate recognition cameras. So the 1st of January 2025,
Yeah.
40 municipalities will introduce these zero carbon emission zones, and they get fined when they enter with the diesel truck or van. I think the same thing is going on in Germany with the cities.
Right.
They also introduce zero emission zones.
Right.
And they do the same in Belgium and in France,
Right.
and in Portugal and in Spain.
Okay.
And actually you see that the financing is coming from the European Union.
Right.
Through all these programs called Horizon 2020 and Interreg
Right.
and 7Cs
Yeah.
and the Green Deal. All the governments signed the Green Deal. The governments from who work along with the United European Union.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Right. Right.
So they're all applying these policies.